Hi, this is Donna. Welcome to DD Paper Crafts. In today's video, we're going to be making this trifold box. I've created a simple belly band strap to keep mine closed. These two boxes fold down like so to the outside and open here, and then the central box in the middle opens at the front like so. The central box is 4 inches square and 2 inches high, and the two outer boxes are 4 by 2 by 2. It's not difficult to resize this. Just bear in mind that the width of each of the two smaller boxes is going to be half the width of the long box, and you want the height of the boxes to be the same, because this box, if this is this high, this is then going to come round and sit next to and level with the box on the bottom. And all I would say is just be mindful of the lids, because you're going to be putting things in there and then they're going to be turning upside down like so and then pulling back to open. So do be conscious of what you put in the outside boxes. Obviously you don't want to go for anything too heavy. And also it is worth taking your time to get the lids as snug as possible. So let me show you how I put a box this size together. For the base box, we will start with a piece which is 8 by 8, and on all 4 sides score at 2 inches. And to make a simple tray, fold and burnish along all of the score lines. Take your scissors, cut up one of the verticals to the horizontal, cut a wedge from the ends to create the glue tab. Repeat on all 4 corners. Add glue to the glue tab. Pull up the side of your tray and try to create a nice neat right angle. Repeat that on all 4 corners. Whilst that's drying, we'll make the lid. For the lid, I have a piece which is 6 by 6, and on all 4 sides score at 1 inch. Fold and burnish. Take your scissors and we're going to cut away every corner, and on one side only, it doesn't matter which side you use, take a wedge from the end to shape the side. The side that's been shaped is the glue tab, which is going to adhere the lid into the box. The reason these sides are longer is because it's just going to help create a little bit more reinforcement, because this box is going to have 2 additional boxes on top of it. I'm going to just make sure that the lid is going to fit and see whether I need to shape any of the corners. So if this back edge is butted right up, I can see that I need to just take an element from the front of this piece here. And what you will also need to do before you stick the lid in is decide if you want to have a finger notch, if you want to have it into the front of the tray, or if you want to have it so that you've got a notch here at the front of this piece, and add a finger notch wherever is your preference. So I'm going to start by adding a finger notch roughly halfway across, like so. Add glue to the back hinge and sit the hinge in the back of the box. So I'm sitting the score line of the lid just over the top edge of the back of the box. Once I'm happy, I can go in and burnish that down. Just flex my box backwards to make sure that's in the right place. I'm going to recheck the fit of the lid. I'm going to mark that with a pencil. Do the same on the other side. Trim those down. So that fits in there nicely. And then just for personal preference, I'm going to round off the corners. I've rounded off the corners, but you want to do that before the piece is flat, really. So that's our bottom box, which is nice and sturdy. For the two smaller boxes, you'll need 2 pieces of cardstock, which are 9 inches by 8 inches. Along the 9-inch side, score at 2, 4, 6 and 8. Rotate, and along the 8-inch side, score at 2 and 6. With the 1-inch tab at the top, score at 1 inches down to 7 inches and at 7 inches down to 7 inches. Fold and burnish. With the 1-inch tab in front of you, cut up the second vertical to the first horizontal, rotate and remove that end rectangle. Cut up the additional score line through the first, second and up to the third horizontal. Rotate and cut up the score line to remove that section up to the horizontal to create a side piece. Cut up each of the verticals to the horizontal. This is creating 2 side glue tabs and the front flap for the lid. Take a wedge from the glue tab on the left and in the middle. Rotate and repeat the process on the other side. My personal preference is to round off the corners of the front flap. And because of how the boxes are going to be adhered into place, I'm going to cut a finger notch between the lid and the front panel just so that the lid can be opened. Now the reason that the lid pieces have got 1-inch tabs on is because we really want the lid to sit in securely so that as it comes around, the lid does not start to open, which is what I found happened when I had 1/2 inch tabs. You may feel that with the glue tabs, if we see when we would now add glue to these 2 glue tabs here, and these will come around and form the inside of the box like so. So you could, if you wanted, trim these 2 glue tabs down to 1/2 inch if that's your preference, but I would recommend leaving the tabs, which are for the lid, as 1 inch. Add glue to the glue tabs and pull around the side square panel to form the sides of the box. Try to get the angles and the sides as lined up and as square as you can, and then repeat that on the other side. Close the lid of the box and just see whether you need to, or how much of a wedge you need to take off the front flap so that the lid fits into the box snugly. So we do that twice. Hopefully you should find that the two boxes fit on top of the bigger base box. So the next thing we're going to do is join the boxes together. Now, the boxes I've made, this is a 300 GSM cardstock. I don't want to use that to adhere because it's not really going to give me enough flexibility, I don't think, in when the boxes move backwards and forwards. So do think about the paper or the cardstock that you're going to use. You certainly wouldn't want to use something like 100 grams, but what I am going to use is this DSP, and this is 180 grams. So you want something that's going to have the flexibility to allow the boxes to move, but at the same time is not that thin that it's going to eventually tear. To join the boxes, you'll need two pieces which are 4 by 4, and we're going to score along one side at 2 inches. So this is just going to give us our score line to start. And you want to fold so that your chosen pattern is on the inside. That's how the boxes are going to fold when they open. So we'll start with the base and one box. So I'm going to use my construction glue, line up my score line with the top edge of my box. So I'm going to fold the piece back and just line that up. Make sure that's sat on nice and squarely. Push that into place. I'm going to flip this box round and add here the other side so that one side can be drying. Add glue to the second side. Sit your box in this orientation so the lid opens like so, and we're going to press this box up against this box. So that make sure that the boxes stay aligned. Now you can flip it, open the lid and go inside and burnish. And I'm just holding this at the front and back so that the front and back of the box stays aligned, and burnish that down into place. So whilst that's drying, we can do the other side. Take the second box, turn it so that the opening is on the right, and again I'm going to push it up against the middle box, making sure it's aligned at the top and the bottom. I can just go in and push that down with my fingers, and if necessary tip it up and go in and burnish that down. And all the while I'm just holding the front and the back of the box to make sure that stays in line. Okay, so that's our two boxes adhered. Once you're comfortable that those are secure, you can lift them up towards the middle, turn them over, and that's how the boxes come together. So our boxes are now attached at the sides, and we can now go ahead with our decoration. What I would say is, before you start your decoration, think about how you want your box, if at all, to be attached on the top. I'm going to create a belly band type effect for mine, but if for instance you would wanted to have some ribbon attaching the two, which tied in the middle, you could obviously add that under your DSP. Alternatively, you might want to put a hole through the top as it sits in this position and have the ribbon coming through the top. If that is the case and you want to have a ribbon effect, if you open your lid up, your hole for your ribbon is going to be on the bottom of the box when it's sitting in this orientation. because this edge is then going to come round and be the top. So just bear that in mind as you start your decoration process. So I'm going to get on with my decoration now and then I'll come back. Here's the finished box. I've gone all out poinsettia and holly with this one. I created a simple strap which was two 10 3/4 inch by 1.5 inch pieces of gold cardstock, which I then just ran through a holly and berry embossing folder, rounded off the corners. I've added this corsage effect on the top, and the poinsettia and the foliage are from the Winter White collection from Crafter's Companion. The strap adheres just with a small Velcro dot, so that will just come apart like so. All of the decorative papers are from this Festive Flora paper pad from Craft Consortium. I'm not sure if this is still available. And so we have our two boxes which open like so on the side, our middle box which opens like so, and then these two fold down and fit on the top like so. And overall, I'm really happy with how this box has come out. So there we have today's project. If you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing to the channel, and until next time, thanks for watching.